Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pickleball and Politics, where I combine my quest to stay out of the kitchen with my passion for politics. Um, I wasn't here last week, and I apologize. I was playing pickleball on Kiawah Island. I am not going to talk about almost any politics in this episode. I'm doing a separate politics because it's kind of a big day. I'm doing a separate podcast on all politics because I got so much to talk about with pickleball. I wasn't here last week. I was in Kiawah Island and I was playing pickleball. Not the whole entire time, but I did play a few times, and I wanted to tell you all about it. It was sort of amazing in a lot of ways. I looked at the program, their online information before I got there, and found out when they were having all their different classes. So I had scheduled beforehand to take a couple of classes, and the first one I was taking was Beginner 101 because it was the first day. It was the first class that was offered after I got there, and I thought, oh, let's start in right away at Beginner 101. One of the things I've always second guessed in my pickleball life is that I really didn't understand anything that was going on in Beginner 101. All the little tiny rules they were telling you and stuff, because I was still trying to figure out, oh, how am I ever going to learn the scoring? I mean, the scoring was just overwhelming me. No matter what they told me, I wasn't paying attention, I'll tell you, for those like first 3 or 4 lessons. So they had an hour course. It was Beginner 101. It was $37. I want to tell you, as soon as I got there, I'd gone over to the pickleball courts over at their tennis center. And I got to be honest with you, their pickleball courts kind of stink for a fabulous resort. Um, but heads up to them. The pickleball courts right now are a little lame. They do the job, but they are a little lame. But they have brand new courts coming out July 1st. And I might have to go down to Kiawah just to play on those new courts. So I'd love to know from a lot of you who do play on modified tennis courts. How do you like playing with weird lines? I play on dedicated pickleball courts, so I don't have all those tennis lines, the double line, the this line with the tennis, and then the pickleball lines and the temporary court. I play on real pickleball court with a real regulation net that's permanent. So I found playing on these temporary courts with temporary lines and temporary nets, all a little distracting. There were a lot of lines, and I wasn't crazy about it. But Kiawah has new pickleball courts coming out July 1st, and they will be fabulous. I'm sure of that. So there were 8 people at the class. It was $37. I got there early, of course, because I'm always early. And they couldn't find my name. Well, the girl was looking under the wrong list. So there you go. There were 8 people with me. 2 were from Dallas, and there weren't 8 people with me. There were 7 people with me. With me, it was 8. There were 8 people in the class. 5 were together. A mom and dad, their 2 adult daughters, and one of their husbands. And the adult daughter and the husband play ping pong competitively. Well, needless to say, they were very good, very, very fast. It was a great hour. It was with Alex, who I highly recommend. I'm going to talk about him a little bit more after we talk about the class. It was a fast class. It was a little weird where I was the only single person there, in that 2 people knew each other, and they were from Dallas, by the way. And they kept on saying that they thought I talk funny and that they love my accent. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't have an accent. I don't talk funny. They, on the other hand, what can I say? And then there was that family of 5. So um, a few of us admitted we'd played before. I was full disclosure. Yeah, I've been playing for about 3 years now. Yeah, I never really paid attention in Pickleball 101. So I came back, and it was sort of good because there were a lot of fundamentals and basics I sort of missed somewhere along the line. I've forgotten about them or whatever. So in an hour, Alex was amazing. He covered all the basics: dinking, serving, the score, returning, the kitchen, all the little basics. It was boom, 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 but it was great. All the basics were covered. Um, and Alex did have two comments on me in initially. And one was that he kept on calling me Miss Tennis. Yes, he kept on calling me Miss Tennis because he goes, "You must have played tennis when you were young because you've got a big, big stroke." And he's right. I do have a big, big stroke on my forearm, and I have to let that go because it is detrimental in the long run. I'm not playing tennis, I'm playing pickleball. So it was a great class, and I was looking forward to the next time I played. I will say that the courts were busy there. During their open play, there were tons of people who showed up. They have a great program, and this was the only thing I bought, which is kind of funny. It's just a towel, and let's just say they didn't really make any money on me this week in Kiawah Island because I'm not one of those people who buys a lot of like little things on vacation unless I like it. And I will use this all the time, but I'm not one that like buys shot glasses or t-shirts or any of that. I did also go to Charleston and I didn't buy anything there except I went into Bird's Cookies. I recommend Bird's Cookies. They give free samples and they give you this box for $7.99. You can put as many cookies as you can fit and get the cover on. And so you just keep on, yes, you put the cookies in, you shake it a little bit so it goes down, and you put some more cookies in. And anyways, they were great cookies. And they had a number of different types. And I loved the little lemon one. The lemon one was so good. So anyways, the next day I went and took another lesson. And it was at 8 o'clock in the morning. I got myself up real early, got ready, went down to the court and showed up. And it was Alex again, which was great because I'd already had a lesson with him. So I felt like I kind of knew him a little bit. And I said, "Where is everybody?" It was supposed to be another 7 people, and me. It was supposed to be 8 of us. And he said, "You're the only one who signed up." And I said, "No, really?" And he said, "Yeah, this class is going to be on dinking and returning, serve or something." And I said, "Well, if it's just you and me for an hour, let's work on my problems." And he was like, "Yeah, sure. We'll definitely work on your problem." So I told him my serve stinks, of course, and that I get a lot of complaints about getting up to the kitchen. So it was an amazing, amazing class. I had never had a one-on-one session like that. And he really was able to hone in on all of these little tiny things I was doing. And I recommend if you're having any sort of little problems with your game, find someone who is just watching you and work with them for an hour. Because he told me I'm holding my racket wrong when I serve. He told me I'm holding my racket wrong when I dink. He told me I am not running up to that net. The serve, he worked so much with me, and it was just fantastic because he he just corrected where I placed my toe and how I followed through, and it was amazing how much better my serve was. So after he worked on my serve with me for like 15 minutes, we get the whole big basket of balls, and there were 40 of them. And so he says, "We're going to, count how many that you don't get in." And I only missed 2, which was amazing to me because normally I'd probably miss about 25 of them. So he really worked on that. And then we talked about running into the net after you on your return. Return, hit it back, and you're already up there. So it was really, really great. He honed in on all of the little idiosyncrasies of my game, and they were just mild corrections, really. And it was amazing to me how much difference it made. We also played with paddles. So he had a whole bunch of paddles there. And he says, "I don't think you have the right paddle for your game." So we tried a few different paddles, and I ended up settling on the Engage MX 6.0 Lite. And wow, I can honestly say, I think it was the first time in my life I could actually really feel that ball hit the paddle. It was amazing. The the feel I had. I just felt it. So we settled on that. And he told me that he had a discount code with Engage. And so I'm going to share it with you because Alex was amazing and I loved my lesson with him. So if you're ever in Kiawah Island, I recommend you look for Alex and you take a pickleball lesson with him. Tell him Heidi from Pickleball and Politics sent you. And I'm sure he'll laugh because I don't think he'd quite know what to do with me by the end of class. So as I was leaving him, I told him, Alex, I got a little podcast I do, and I talk about pickleball, and I'm going to talk about you. Is that okay? Because I would never talk about somebody unless I made sure it was okay with them. And he's like, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, you can talk about me. So not only am I going to talk about Alex, but I'm going to tell you if you go to Engage and you find yourself a new paddle, and I recommend the MX 6.0 Lite, use code 20 Holdgate. That's 20 HOLDGATE. 20 Holdgate, and you can get 20% off. So the paddle I got is on sale, and then I got an additional 20% off. It was free shipping and handling over $75. I bought a few other things because there were some other nice little cute tops that were on sale. And after the sale, they were only like $10. So I had to put them in my cart too. So they might still be on sale right now. I'm not sure, but go there. If you need a new paddle, I recommend it. I believe they have a money back guarantee for about 30 days or so. Don't quote me on that. I can't be sure. So the great part about this, and I'm going to read this to you, is after I told Alex that I had a podcast, and we shared, uh, uh, he sent me an email because he wanted to give me the discount code. And I told him that I had a podcast. He sent me this great text. I know I'm taking forever. I really should have had this up. So about an hour after our class, he sent me this text and he says, I just listened to your first podcast. First, you can't say that you don't serve well anymore. Second, I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I should put on my glasses and not be so vain. It says, first, you say you can't serve well. Well, you can't say that anymore. Second, your friends ask, why is Heidi still back? That shouldn't that shouldn't be a problem anymore either if you return like you were. Next, you'll be a solid 3.5 if you keep those serves in and deep. Return and chase your ball to the kitchen line every time. You got this. And that was just amazing that he took that time to actually listen to my first podcast and then talk about my issues and how we worked on them on that day. And so, credit to Alex. I did play again afterwards, and I played pretty darn good. My serves were in. I played open play there at Kiawah, and it was $20 for open play and it was a couple of hours. I only stayed about an hour because it gets so darn hot out there and it's so humid, and no matter how much water you drink. Anyways, I highly recommend Kiawah Island. I'm probably going to do another little podcast on Kiawah Island because it's wonderful. I almost hate to tell you about Kiawah Island because it's so good. As you know, I wanted to say these two. This also, Alex did tell me I have like two problems. One is that I've got way too big of a swing, and number two is that I'm already looking across the court before I've even hit the ball on my paddle. And so he says, you got to be really careful because you're already looking across the court when your paddle's still here and the ball hasn't hit it yet. So I've got to remember to do that. Okay. I end every episode with the dink of the day, and I'm sorry, the dink today are those two ladies from Dallas who thought I had a funny accent. I don't talk funny at all. I just talk like a typical person from Boston. Anyways, you can reach me on Getter at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Instagram at Pickleball and Politics. You can reach me on Twitter at Pickle and Paul. You can go to my website, pickleballandpolitics.com. Leave me a message, or you can leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel, Pickleball and Politics. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you never miss an episode. And once again, shout out to the amazing instructor, Alex, and the Kiawah Island Pickleball Center. I can't wait to go down there again and play on their new pickleball courts that they're going to be opening in July. All right, until next time, I'll see you soon on Pickleball and Politics.